The wait is finally over, and the Miami Dolphins have their new commander-in-chief. But the question burning through South Florida right now is whether this defensive mastermind can finally bring the tenacity we've been starving for. We are breaking down the 5-year commitment to Jeff Hafley, the powerful message sent by Stephen Ross and Jon-Eric Sullivan, and the massive coordinator search that starts immediately. This is the start of a new era in Miami, and you need to know exactly who might be calling the shots next season. If you want to see the Dolphins finally win a playoff game under this new regime, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video right now. What is going on, Dolphins Nation? We are back to break down the massive news that has officially shaken up the AFC East. The Miami Dolphins have hired Jeff Hafley as the next head coach of our franchise. I know the initial reaction on social media has been mixed. Some of you are scratching your heads, some of you are optimistic, and some of you are just flat out tired of the coaching carousel. I get it. We have been here before. But let's be real for a second. Whether you love the hire or you hate it, we all want the exact same thing. We want to see this team succeed. We want to see meaningful football in January. We want a playoff win. The organization has handed Hafley a 5-year contract. Now, before anyone panics about the length of the deal, let's take a breath. In the modern NFL, a 4 or 5-year deal is standard operating procedure for a new head coach. It's about showing a vote of confidence. It tells the locker room, the fans, and the rest of the league that the ownership is committed to this vision. Whether he sees the end of that contract is a discussion for another day, but right now, Stephen Ross is putting his money where his mouth is. And remember, that money comes out of the owner's pocket. It has zero impact on our salary cap or our ability to sign players. So, let Ross spend his money if it means we get a leader who can actually command a room. Speaking of Stephen Ross, he released a fascinating statement regarding the hire. And if you read between the lines, it tells us exactly why Mike McDaniel is no longer here. Ross said, "I believe great things are ahead for the Miami Dolphins with Hafley leading the way. Jeff is an accomplished coach with a proven track record as a leader and motivator. He has tenacity and grit while at the same time establishing trust with his players in order to get the most out of them." Did you catch those key words? Motivator, tenacity, grit. Ross isn't just complimenting Hafley. He is highlighting exactly what was missing over the last few years. As much as we love the offensive fireworks of the previous era, we have to admit that the team lacked a certain edge. How many times did we watch this team fold when the going got tough? How many times did we see them crumble in December and January when the weather turned cold and the lights got bright? We couldn't win big games on the road. We couldn't beat physical teams in the AFC North. We couldn't go into Buffalo or Kansas City and punch them in the mouth. It felt like we were a finesse team in a league that rewards brutality. Ross saw that. He saw the softness. He saw the inability to adapt to adverse conditions, like that freezing Thanksgiving game in Green Bay, where Hafley's defense completely shut us down. Ross wants a team that reflects the personality of its coach. Tough, physical, and relentless. That is the culture shift we are looking at. Does hearing Stephen Ross emphasize grit and tenacity finally give you hope that we are done being this soft team of the AFC East? Or is this just another buzzword-filled off-season promise? Now, let's look at the other major power player in this decision, our new general manager, Jon-Eric Sullivan. His statement was just as telling. He said, "Jeff is a man of integrity, intellect, and great passion who players will buy into and play for. He has a vision for the kind of team we will be and the ability to motivate them to move in one direction." Again, the theme is motivation and buy-in. We keep hearing that players run through a brick wall for Hafley. You heard it from Richard Sherman in San Francisco. You heard it from Micah Parsons. You heard it from the guys in Green Bay. Even NFC North rivals, fans of the Bears, Lions, and Vikings, were celebrating when Hafley left the Packers because they hated facing his defenses. That is the ultimate compliment. Opponents hated playing against him, and players loved playing for him. If we can combine that defensive toughness with a synchronized vision between the head coach and the GM, something we haven't genuinely had in years, we might actually be building a sustainable foundation. Sullivan and Hafley come from the same cloth. They believe in drafting well, developing talent, and retaining your own guys. No more quick fixes. No more mercenaries. This is about building a culture that lasts. So, here is the big question of the day for you guys. and I want you to be honest in the comments section. Grading the hire of Jeff Hafley on a scale of A to F, where do you stand right now? And has your opinion changed since the initial announcement? I'm sticking with a solid B- with room to grow. I'm cautiously optimistic because of the alignment with Sullivan, but I need to see the staff he puts together. And that brings us to the most critical part of this transition, the coordinators. Jeff Hafley is a defensive guy. We know that. So, the offensive coordinator hire is going to be the most important decision he makes in his first year. He needs someone who can run the show on that side of the ball. We aren't looking for a yes man. We need a legitimate play caller. There are some big names out there like Cliff Kingsbury or Brian Dable, but usually, head coaches gravitate toward people they know and trust. The first name you need to keep an eye on is already in the building, Bobby Slowik. There is a strong connection here. Hafley and Slowik worked together in San Francisco from 2016 to 2018. We know Slowik had a rough end to his tenure in Houston. That playoff loss to the Patriots was a disaster, but let's not rewrite history. He was the guy who orchestrated C.J. Stroud's incredible rookie season. He knows how to develop a young quarterback. He is only 38 years old, and despite the recent struggles, he is still viewed as a bright offensive mind. He has already been requested for an interview with the Eagles, so the league hasn't given up on him. Giving Slowik a second chance to redeem himself in Miami, reunited with a friend in Hafley, makes a ton of sense. But if you want to dig deeper into the Hafley connections, look no further than Green Bay. Adam Stenavich is the current offensive coordinator for the Packers. Now, usually, you can't make a lateral move from OC to OC, but Matt LaFleur calls the plays in Green Bay. If Miami offers Stenavich the chance to be the full-time play caller, that is a promotion. The Packers could try to block it, but if Stenavich wants to prove he can run an offense on his own, Miami is the perfect landing spot. Then you have Jason Vrabel, the Packers' passing game coordinator. He's another guy familiar with the system Hafley has been around. Or how about a wild card? Sean Mannion. Yes, the former quarterback. He is currently the quarterback's coach in Green Bay. He is incredibly young, in his early 30s, but people around the league are buzzing about him. He is seen as a rising star, a future genius in the coaching ranks. It would be a bold, high-risk, high-reward hire, but if Hafley trusts his football IQ, it could be a home run. Let's step outside the direct Hafley tree for a second. Look at Nate Schilhasa, the passing game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. He has been getting head coaching interviews already, which tells you how highly the league values him. He's learned under Sean McVay, and even though he doesn't have a direct line to Hafley, the coaching world is small. Hafley has ties to the Shanahan tree, and Schilhasa is in the McVay tree. Those philosophies blend well. If he wants play-calling experience before making the jump to head coach, Miami is the place to do it. And finally, for the offense, keep an eye on Steve Shimko. He is the quarterback's coach for the Dallas Cowboys right now, but he was on Hafley's staff at Boston College. They have coached together, they trust each other, and Shimko has done a solid job in Dallas. He's another rising name who could be looking for that coordinator title. Now, let's switch gears to the defense. Who is going to run Hafley's unit? This is interesting because Hafley might decide to call the plays himself. We saw Robert Saleh say he's going to call the defense in Tennessee, so it's not uncommon. But Hafley will still need a right-hand man. The odds-on favorite has to be Tem Lukabu. He is currently the linebackers coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that defense has been flying around this year. But the connection here is undeniable. Lukabu was Hafley's defensive coordinator at Boston College. Rumor has it that Hafley reached out to Lukabu way before he even got the Miami job, basically asking, "If I get a head coaching gig, are you coming with me?" The fact that they have that history, and Lukabu has experience running Hafley's scheme, makes this feel like a done deal. But there are other options. Anthony Weaver, our current DC, is technically still an option, but he is interviewing for head coaching jobs in Baltimore and Pittsburgh. If he lands one of those, Miami gets third-round compensatory picks in 2026 and 2027, which would be an absolute gift for our rebuild. So, frankly, we should all be rooting for Weaver to get a big promotion somewhere else. DeMarcus Covington is another name to watch. He's currently with the Packers, but was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots in 2024. Yeah, that Patriots team struggled, but Covington has play-calling experience and knows the division. Then you have the Boston College guys who followed Hafley to the NFL, like Sean Duggan. Duggan is the linebackers coach in Green Bay, and was a co-DC at Boston College. He is young, hungry, and knows Hafley's system better than anyone. Vince Agabase, the assistant defensive line coach in Green Bay, is another name that could follow the boss to South Beach. Ultimately, my money is on Tem Lukabu. The trust factor is just too high to ignore. When you are a first-time NFL head coach, you want a defensive coordinator who speaks your language, someone you don't have to micromanage. Lukabu fits that description perfectly. We are going to be tracking every single interview and rumor as this staff fills out. The introductory press conference hasn't been scheduled yet, but as soon as it is, we will be there to break down every word Hafley says. This is a time for optimism, Dolphins fans. We have a new structure, a new philosophy, and a fresh start. Let's see if this tenacity and grit can finally translate to wins in January. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss our next update later today. Go Fins. Peace out.